Hello, everyone. Guess what? It is nerd night. We are back. We have Slayer in the house. We have Josina in the house.
What's up, freaks?
And he's working the fog machine because I'm obsessed with it. So on nerd night, I get to have it. Right? And we have Randella in the house. And hi, I'm Sharon. Welcome to Tarot Sphere 25. We love you guys joining us. We're so thankful for your attention and your time. Guess what?
What?
Today is what?
Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't get a Friday the 13th that often, so that's kind of good.
True that.
Living the dream. Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Red light going in the background, just in case.
We're doing
eating blood to flow.
Yeah. We've got red tonight for a fog color because of blood and Valentine's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that tomorrow?
Today.
It is.
Okay.
Happy Valentine's to all.
Yeah.
Della is so sweet, made cupcakes. I'm just going to put some icing on mine.
Partially in honor of my mother's birthday today.
Oh,
So she's invited to pop in cupcakes with us that she's bounced around the universe.
day.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Mom, yeah, happy birthday.
Here's the knife and the frosting. You guys make your own. There you go. I have my cupcake. Okay, so today, obviously, we are going to focus on Friday the 13th. However, we are going to start out with a witch subject. Now, this was Slayer. She's been wanting to do this subject matter for a little while. So all y'all got to be popping in and out, helping me out. But Matthew Hopkins, he was the evil doer. He was the felon, orange-faced piece of shit of his time. I'm sorry.
That's a good description.
Okay, thank you. I try not to get the politics in. I have the other shows, the one other show for that, and it just slips out. Okay, Matthew Hopkins. So he was the witch hunter. He is dubbed the witch hunter from 16. Give me a second. Where did it go? I just had it.
16 something.
1620 to 1647. Now, this dude, he literally only lived 26 or 27 years, and the damage that he caused in his later years, in just a span of a few years, is just ridiculous. He wrote they called it a pamphlet. He authored a pamphlet in 1647, the year that he died. And it was called The Discovery of Witches. Thoughts? What a piece of...
Yeah. So he started like witch.
Yeah, he was the first witch hunter, wasn't he?
Well, first, yeah.
But
Unfortunately, women have been hunted and exterminated for this kind of thing. Pretty much, but he was. But yeah, they for some reason thought that the country was awash in witches and had to be exterminated and rooted out at any means necessary.
All the authoritarians use that word, exterminate.
Dang.
He was also, did you know this, Leah? He was also an unsuccessful lawyer. What does it mean to be a lawyer in 1600s? I mean, I wonder what the law degree looked like.
It's really bizarre, honestly. Here's
Right?
some washed up loser. Basically,
What?
last thing he's got to offer to the world is a pamphlet that basically is exposing the concept of witches, which of course we know there's little minions like little Mikey who shut down the government today again. Not to get into politics, but we're just saying there's simple-minded individualistics out there that all they need is a pamphlet like this to get them running loose on the world.
It's always hate and anger. It's like their DNA, their brain. There's something that's always missing in these people.
Yeah,
Like
there-
it's
and wasn't there also an English Civil War then too? So.
okay. There was, but the King Charles the First, he had already lost control of the whole region. So that's probably why this Matthew dude, Hopkins, was able to do what he did, because the king didn't have any control. So he kind of stepped in. It's kind of like a SM, you know who I'm talking about. I refuse to say his name. Just think of the Third Reich, and you'll know exactly, without hair, and you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. It's kind of that scenario. There's so much chaos, and that person can step in today's time and do his deadly, or what do they call them, dastardly deeds.
And didn't he have a nasty little friend too? That helped
Oh,
him out?
I didn't. It's nothing about the nasty little friend popped up.
His name's Stern.
That never popped up. I researched and researched and researched. I never saw that. So, what would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah. Let me think here that, Hopkins turned up in a town to buy a local inn with money he'd inherited from his father, a Puritan preacher by the name of John Hopkins. It was in Manningtree that Hopkins met John Stern, another enthusiastic witch finder.
No, John Stern. They weren't together though.
Worked closely with Hopkins through a 14-month reign of terror across East Anglia and beyond.
Okay.
It says it was Stern who first accused a group of Manningtree women of witchcraft. And England at that time was suspicious and God-fearing, and land highly susceptible to the idea that witches lurked around every corner.
Okay.
And it said, oh, this is where I got King James from earlier. It said it had its origins in the paranoia of the late King James I, who became convinced that the land he ruled was beset by devilry and witchcraft.
Well, maybe it was.
It says his fear of the supernatural led him to write a book on the subject called The Demonology in 1590.
I get one beer.
Sheesh.
Well, I didn't know they were side by side. I know that Matthew Hopkins, he was basically only in the East Anglia part of the country, which is Eastern England. John Stern, he was kind of in pockets all over. So there you go. I didn't get into the torture with the EP files going on and everything. I just couldn't go there with that. We could talk about all that kind of stuff like on another episode.
Yeah.
I basically just did like the like the main topic, and I didn't get into the details. I just know that over 300 people were executed for being witches. Josina, are you a witch?
No, but
Being dead witch. Can you imagine actually being like that? Like walking out of your like cottage and seeing someone and saying, "Be damned, witch."
it's a frightening time to live when you were a woman.
That's disgusting.
Or you could just pull out your gun and shoot a helpless, defenseless woman 5 times in the face while she's driving her car.
I wonder if I could.
Well, it does say one thing interesting in the history here is that Matthew Hopkins was only 27 years old.
Yeah, that's what I said. He died at 26 to 27. That was his last.
So he was a young
Yeah.
dude.
And the height of his miserable deeds was at right when before he died.
Embarrassment to society.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, the scary part is that it didn't take a whole lot to sit there and have somebody rally, and all they could do is get around a little bit of a rattle and swing around a religious based saber, so to speak. Some charge to go. Here's why Christianity's struggling because of these witches over here, or because of them over there. And then they go on some tirade hunt, to
Well, no,
track these people down.
Leah, you tell what you know about why a lot of these witches happened.
Like,
Are you kidding me?
It's always the women.
Being female and existing, you could do that. It's you could. If you're too young, if you're too old, if you had babies, if you had too many babies,
Or if you're a widow and they want your what? Land.
Mhm. Yeah.
You're a witch. And then they abscond the land.
Yeah,
so it's basically just a way to excommunicate a person by just labeling them as a gift.
Goodness. I am telling you. Is there anything else on this subject matter?
right.
He's a creepy little fellow. Have you seen the sketched pictures of him? He's like a little Mikey J.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they took next to nothing.
Like a little rat.
Yeah,
Whoa.
It's a thing. It says somebody said question the efficacy of the cryos. The news sheet editor questioned why the devil would choose to exclusively communicate with a bunch of poor, uneducated women. Yeah, I mean, it just. Yeah, I mean, if you had no defense,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is interesting how I wonder how many noble women were accused of being witches.
Well, then they moved to just put them in mental institutions. But we won't go down that road. Listen, enough is going on. Okay, well, that was fascinating. We have a little bit on that. We can do a much deeper dive later on. But I also thought since today was Friday the 13th, hopefully I don't have chocolate on my teeth. And if I do, I'm sorry, but it's delicious. And babe, these are really good cupcakes. He made them. Randella. So now should we dive into Friday the 13th?
Mm-hmm.
Since it's the topic of the day. All right, today's Friday the 13th. So I thought we could start out by talking about some of the historical situations or things that made Friday the 13th a big deal. So let's start with the Last Supper. Now, Randy, I know you're going to have some.
Maybe not.
So the Last Supper, the reason why Friday the 13th is coincides with Friday the 13th is because in the Last Supper, Da Vinci painted 13. What were they called? Were they apostles? Were they apostles?
Disciples, whichever.
Disciples, yeah.
Disciples. Okay, there were 13. The last one to arrive, and they do refer him to the last one to arrive is Judas. Judas, how do you pronounce it?
Judas.
I wouldn't know. Judas?
Judas.
Okay. Well, we don't all know because I didn't know till I read this, but Judas is the bad guy who, didn't he turn Jesus in?
For 30 pieces of silver, yeah.
Yes. And in the Last Supper, he is sitting in the 13th seat and he has his head lower than everybody else, which is what? Guilt, shame, usually. And he's holding a bag of silver and there's salt spilled on the table in front of him. We're going to get to salt.
Now, point out one very small little detail
Uh-huh.
is that there were 13 chairs because Jesus had one of them, but he had 12 disciples, not 13.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
There
It
were
was 12
13
disciples, but there were 13 at the
There were-
Last
there
Supper
were
table.
13 of them. One was exceptionally considered exceptionally good. The rest were neutral, except for one who was exceptionally bad.
Judas.
So Judas was the first one to be basically
Turn.
to turn on him and plus die. Yeah,
And he is in the 13th seat.
he's in the third.
So
Is that why 13 is considered?
that's one reason why 13 is considered unlucky almost everywhere except Italy.
Hmm.
But, I mean, not factually. I mean, that is fact, but I mean, I didn't go through every country in the world. But most of Europe, France, and so forth, they all think it's very unlucky, except for Italy. But their Friday the 13th is on the 17th. So I don't even understand how that all connects because it's not even the same number. So now,
But
Uh-huh.
I want to just bounce on that just for a moment because 13 is considered a harbinger of bad luck.
yeah, we're going to get there.
We are.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because you did lay a good foundation, but so the 13 people, yeah, okay,
Yeah, we're
continue.
coming along. All right, so now another historical thingamajiggy fact. Thank you. That was synonymous. Is that the right word? Because I have brain fog still. I had the flu really bad. I was
And
in
we
bed
don't
4
have any
days
fog
last
in
week.
The house. So if you're watching this video and you're seeing fog, you
It
might
is,
have.
It's not my brain.
Yeah. And so it is. It might be a figment of your imagination. Hey, go hit the fog again. Thank you.
All right, we've got dun 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 dun, dun Knights Templar
Cool.
on the 13th. The king, who was the king? Where did it go? Where are my Knights Templar? I don't know what the king was. I thought I wrote it down. Oh my God. Anyway, that's part of my brain fog from my
I hate when that happens.
here it is. No, I found my notes. 1307 October, mind you, the month of Halloween. 13 King Philip the Fourth ordered the arrest of all, and this was like everywhere at one time. It was like at one time. It wasn't like go to that village and then go to that. It was like all at once. He ordered the arrest of the Knights Templar across France to cancel his debts, of course. Isn't it funny how history just continually repeats itself? And gosh, big surprise, steal their assets.
What's the Knights Templar?
They're the ones. Okay, let me tell you who they are.
They're part of the Masonic lodge and the Masonic history. They're part of the Freemasons.
Yeah, they were to defend the kingdom of Jerusalem. They were unmarried. They were an unmarried religious order, and that was their job. They were the ones. What was the Jesus? Was it the
Holy Grail.
the Holy Grail? Supposedly, they had the Holy Grail, and they are the ones that hid the Holy Grail. And I think it's in that little church in Ethiopia, but we'll do a show on that one day because that's just a fascinating subject matter. But this would have been,
I want to inject one thing. That chalice also would be the same chalice they believe was the one that Jesus turned water into wine. So they believe that it had like a magical, yeah, they believe they had like a magical aspect, to it, that sort of thing. Plus the same chalice that he would have used at the Last Supper.
Mhm.
So, and then in the Christendom, it's like a precursor to Jesus dying and actually sharing his own blood, the shedding of his own blood. So the cup of passing the cup like they do in churches of the wine is drinking of Jesus's blood. It's a sharing of his death and so it's a participatory thing. That's so
yeah.
there's
So
it all just
the red
connects.
fog is very appropriate tonight. on
Yes.
many.
Good call.
Thanks, Randy, for that. You know so much of that.
Well done, Mandy. Yes.
See, Knights Templar formed in the year 1119, and they were dedicated to protecting Christianity. Jerusalem. Oh, and travelers. You were absolutely right. And travelers. That is true. True that?
That they developed one of the first, some kind of modern banking systems. And so that,
Oh my gosh, you're right. I did not go into detail on the Knights Templar. I was just kind of doing the Friday the 13th thing, but I'm so glad you're bringing all this up.
Good job.
Fantastic.
if they needed to, they could like pull it out later. So the Knights Templar kind of developed that system for them. So,
Now there was they were tortured and burned at the stake and all those awful things. The last Grand Master, who I think was like a head Knights Templar person, was Jacques de Molay, and he cursed King Philip IV and the Pope, Pope Clement. So the Pope must have been in on this, which is, I thought he was Christian. I mean, I don't understand.
oh,
But that was Catholics. Catholic was different than Christian back then. I don't know. Well, it still is.
Christians can't get along with each other.
No.
Yeah, they'll be slitting each other's throats for forever. So.
Right. Well, this guy, this Grand Master, as he burned at the stake, he cursed the king and the Pope. And I have no further info on that. So that's for another time.
Usually when a person curses, on their deathbed, they have some inside dirt on the person.
Yeah.
Cursing.
It's always a matter of control. If the Pope didn't feel like he was in full control of that, then it's, cursing, stabby time. So.
Well, now I think we should talk about all the superstitiousness of Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah, because I almost thought when you said they made a decree all throughout the entire land and was rounded up and arrested there. I thought you were going to say they went after all the black cats.
They do, but
Cats and women, two of the greatest things
I think black cats are the most abused.
They are.
Other cats.
Yeah,
They are.
actually really are.
Yeah.
all right. So number one, can you even guess what the number one symbology of Friday the 13th is?
I'd like to have cats.
Black cats. We were
Black
just
cats.
talking.
I was on something.
You were. They are associated with witchcraft, and in Scotland and Japan, black cats are considered lucky.
Yeah.
So, two countries that have it together a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, number two. Anyone know what number two is? Don't walk under.
Oh, ladder.
Ding, 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 ding. 5 points. Yes. Now, do you know why you don't walk under a ladder?
Do not know why, but I'd like to know.
Because the shape of a ladder against a wall forms a triangle, and a triangle is considered a sacred symbol
Of the Trinity.
And so when you walk through it, it disrupts the divine energy, the protection, and it leaves a hole which invites death.
Wow. Is it really the Trinity?
Well, that's what people have used the symbol for the Trinity as a triangle for years.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
See a lot of symbols in all through churches using referring to the Trinity, and there's different artistic versions of triangles, including they have Celtic ones, but then they have some that have been converted into like they're like Celtic crosses, Celtic triangles, or all kind of that same stylization that they use. Yeah.
I didn't know that. It's good.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. Broken mirrors.
Oh.
Believed mirrors were believed or are believed by a lot of people to hold parts of your soul. If they're shattered, the soul. Hold on. Well, then the soul's all messed up. The Romans. I'm sorry, long day. The Romans believed. Now, this is where how many years of bad luck with a broken mirror?
Is that
How many?
is it 7?
Yes, it is. Ding, ding, ding. The reason for that is that the Romans believed life started over every 7 years. So if it, then in 7 years you get a new life. And that's where that came from. So a broken mirror distorts perception.
Interesting.
Then your soul's not all put together. Okay, number 4.
Actually, can I say one other
Yeah.
thing about mirrors, which is a very strange fact, as long as we're talking about cats and mirrors? Cats don't recognize themselves as in a mirror. It's a very strange phenomenon. But they don't even acknowledge they can see a cat on TV and freak out on a cat on TV. But seeing themselves in a mirror, they don't even react or respond or do anything,
Wow.
They just completely just don't even take notice. It's as if they don't even and it may be that they just know, hey, it's just themselves and they're not vain. I don't know what it is, but
Do they see themselves?
I don't have the exact answer for. I've asked scientifically, tried to study scientifically the phenomenon, but cats do not recognize themselves in mirrors. Is
Yeah,
an
my
official.
cat ran head first into
Yeah.
the mirror. He saw his reflection and ran head first into the mirror, blocked it. He's like,
Oh
"What
my
the
God.
hell?"
Poor baby. So who all in this room has cats? Babes.
Oh yes.
Joe can't raise his hand.
Yeah.
Picture of a cat, you can take it home with you.
That's sweet. Yeah, sure.
But he's a nice guy towards cats.
He loves cats. All cats love him.
Cats and dogs.
Number 4. We're going to get back to the Last Supper. What was spilled on the table?
Wine,
So yeah,
water,
and I did want
I
to say
said it.
Salt,
I'm
guts,
sorry, what?
salt,
salt,
no
salt.
salt. Yeah,
salt.
salt. You did say it.
Salt.
Oh, salt over the shoulder.
What did you want to say?
I
Salt.
was still tagging on the prior one. Is that when I looked up the scientific thing on the cats in the mirror, it says that it's actually called a mirror test. Mirror test is called that if you pass the mirror test, it means that you're self-aware. And a cat does not recognize themselves and is not self-aware, and fails the mirror test. All right,
Got
moving
it.
on to the salt.
Got it.
Continuing.
All right. Salt was considered valuable, protective, and purifying. So Judas spills the salt in the Last Supper. That's very bad, because that's bad luck, right?
Salt is also considered highly medicinal.
Uh-huh.
And so to spill it would be like wasting a precious resource.
Right.
Mhm.
Throwing salt over the left shoulder. I always wondered which shoulder it was. It's the left one.
Left one. Yeah, salt.
Blinds. Why do you do it? It blinds the
Salt in the devil's eye.
the devil behind you.
Over
Yeah.
the left.
The left shoulder, yeah.
Yeah, so if you see me squinting, it means I was following Sharon.
Yeah,
a little
but
too
Brandon
close.
starts
I have to-
randomly screaming for some reason.
Fine.
I was following Sharon too close. Freaked her out.
If it's on top, I'm going to freak out. No, it's not. Number 5. Can you guess what number 5 is? I'm going to look for it. What is the 13th card in the tarot deck?
Yes.
Death. I'll find it. exciting. Yes, the 13th card in the tarot deck. Here it is. Nope, that's the devil. Did I pass it? Darn it. It's death, which is, that's kind of cool. Like,
Pretty ominous.
yeah, ominous. Yeah, ominous. Here it is. Okay.
Death. That's scary one. Yeah.
Number 13.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, we know that this represents death, but most of the time it just represents a transformation and ending into a new one. But it does death and the word Friday. It's like a symbolic instability because death is instability and Friday is symbolic. And when you bring them together, it's like chaos. So to move further on that, how many months are in the year? 12.
12.
How many zodiacs are there?
12.
How many apostles were there?
12.
Right. So that is the disruption. 13 disrupts the perfect 12. And that's another symbolism for 13. We have one more before we get into the word Friday. The gallows. In medieval times, traditionally, executions were always in the gallows, done on Fridays. Fridays equal judgment, public shame, and death ritual.
Okay, one thing that you haven't mentioned that I want to actually make a very strong correlation and connection to is, and we actually talked about this earlier when we were having our dinner, because we were going to have our anniversary music session on our on a certain weekend, but we chose not to because it is going to be what is that Sunday going to be?
Easter.
Okay, so Easter, and that's Easter Sunday, right?
Yeah, but it's on the 12th. Yeah,
Hold on.
I'm holding.
What happens? What happens a few days prior to that? Friday.
Good Friday.
It's called Good Friday. So Friday is the day that
surprised
they
I know.
crucified Jesus. So Friday has a direct
Not to be
correlation
offensive.
to
It's just not my world. I'm listening.
Jesus being killed on a Friday. So there's another correlation to Friday and death.
Hold on with that. Because you're right. The meal was on a Thursday. So the Last Supper was on a Thursday and he was crucified on a Friday. Mhm.
Yeah.
No arguments there
So,
at all.
death, yeah. And then there's and I don't know if we were going to talk about this as well, about superstitions as well, but we do know that almost every building in the Western world does not have a 13th floor.
Oh yeah, I forgot to write that one down. Yes. And I will tell you, not in every year, but in some years, there are 13 full moons, which is super cool.
Honestly, I always thought a 13-month calendar would make more sense. Yeah, because it's but because we have
Yeah.
13 moons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really does. And the other thing that I think's interesting was the fact that everybody thinks 12 is so complete. You know, Jesus had 12 disciples. And you can count. No, you can't count the fingers on your hand. It's not 12. It's 10. Why do we think 12 so great?
Because I said it.
I want to. What I was trying to make here is that 13 actually is a prime number, which actually has a significance in its own right. Mathematically, has more mathematical benefits to the universe and the way science works. And so
Fascinating.
science is kind of ignorant of religion, and I just think mathematically in the universe, it's kind of profound that 13 is not considered bad in the order of the universe. Just saying.
Cool.
Wow.
Good point.
That's awesome. So it's a prime number?
It's one of the prime numbers, yeah.
So I've
It's also in the Fibonacci sequence, which is
the what?
the Fibonacci sequence.
What is
which
that?
Fibonacci was a mathematician from Italy, and he discovered the sequence, which actually becomes the golden ratio.
Oh,
It also is the
I've
one
heard of that.
and it's used actually. So this curve that's used in the golden ratio has to do with a lot of nature and leaves and designs and patterns, and it's a repeating pattern. But basically, you take the first, you take numbers and you so 1 plus 1 is 2,
Mhm.
and so then you take the last two digits, so then 1 plus 2 is 3, and so anyone that's part of the Fibonacci sequence, so then you take 2 plus 3 is 5, and then so then you had 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, so then 5 plus 8 is 13. Okay, so the Fibonacci uses the sequence like this, but it's also creates this golden ratio curve, which most of all of nature follows that same design in natural beauty. Flowers
Yeah,
have
what's
Got
that-
it.
what's
That's
that
really
shell
cool.
that's like almost a perfect example of a Fibonacci. There's like a certain kind of shell. I can't think of the name of it, but it's like
it's
it's like spirals and
Yeah,
it's in the Fibonacci sequence.
yeah, it's the famous that's what it is. It's the famous sorry, it's a seashell, which uses it, or even a snail shell, uses it as well. So yeah.
Wow.
So 13 is a good number,
I love
and it's
13.
not, and mathematically and scientifically, it's a very key piece to the
I love
to
13.
the beauty of our world.
Let's go around because that's all I've got. Let's go around real quick and say what our favorite number is. Brangella?
I think my new favorite number, well, actually, I do like the number 8 for as a representation of infinity. I think that's pretty profound.
Oh, it's not even showing. My infinity necklace that he made, handmade. Because he's a
Yeah.
jeweler and he makes me pretty
So
jewelry.
I'm liking 13's pretty good too. I think 13's
13's badass.
Yeah, because it's kind of it kind of represents out from the religious minded fools think of it as a bad thing, when in reality, scientifically, it's a good thing.
It's awesome. Josina.
13 is also the number of the greatest quarterback to ever play the game,
Are you going to say Joe Namath?
Mr. Dan Marino.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was close. It was one or the other. Because he's a Dolphins guy.
Well, you got to also remember that the Dolphins are the only NFL football team ever to go undefeated. Ever. It's ever.
Stuck now, but
That's
yeah,
crazy. Are you serious?
the only professional
Three
football
Super-
team
It's ever gone
to
undefeated.
ever go undefeated. Yes.
Super Bowl games?
Of everything. All
1972.
everything. Yeah.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
So, okay, I have to be a Dolphins fan now. I really do. Uniform looks like pajamas, but they have improved.
A few years ago.
Although, isn't that Florida?
What's
Is that
that?
Miami?
Miami.
Yeah.
It's Miami, yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, it's turning a little bit. Yeah. Leah?
Real quick, since
Oh, yeah. So what's your
my favorite number is 34.
34?
And those that know me, I'm a huge sports guy. I associate different things with athletes' numbers, and 34 was worn by one of the greatest players of all time in the
Who?
NFL and one of the greatest human beings, Walter Payton.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Is that Peyton's father? Our Peyton's? Don't we have Peyton's from?
Well, that's
No.
Manning's and Peyton and what's the
Oh, it's Peyton Manning. Oh, that's right. See,
And then the Broncos also have
Yeah.
Sean Payton and George Payton, which is the GM. Anyway.
Yeah.
The highest award, the most prestigious award in the NFL is called the Walter Payton.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
It's named after, well, anyway, it's given to the player that has done most in the community.
That's
So,
pretty cool.
if you have time, check out Walter Payton. He,
Yeah, that's amazing.
for a long time, held the most yards rushing in the NFL. And his highlight reels are, it's amazing to watch this man run and what he did. He played for the Chicago Bears on the great team back in the 80s. Anyway, that's it. That's all I had. Thank you for letting me get that out.
34. Okay. Leah? Slayer?
I always like 9 because I like that, because it's like that little 3 breakdown and but I also want to kind of go back to 13 because it's very cultural. The 13 is unlucky because it's mostly in Western culture, but it says here in Italy and Hinduism it marks and kind of going back to that death card, considered where it marks significant luck and prosperity in other cultures, and Italy and Hinduism where it's marked significant transitions and new beginnings.
Uh-huh.
So back to that death card again. So
Yeah.
So
There you go.
divine feminine number. I have to look into that more, but yeah. It could also be a symbol of the divine feminine, I think, in some places. I'll have to double check on that. So
Which number is that?
13.
13. Okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
I am also a 9. I think 9 is the best number. I don't know why, because 9 is the end of the cycle. 10 in numerology becomes 1 again because it stops at 9. So anything 10, 11, you have to add them together. And then so 10 would be a 1 cycle, 11 would be 2, 12 would be 3, 1 plus 2 is 3. So I love 9. 9 means like you're in it. Wherever you are, you're totally in it. I think it's amazing. So Randy, what did you say other than 13? What was your favorite number?
Number 8. I like, so I know number 9. What's really nice about 9. 9 also
Courage.
represents
Strength.
completeness. Like 9 is like the
Yeah.
ending, so on. So I think 9 is really profound. I like number 8 just from the representation of infinity.
Okay. Well, in tarot, 8 represents strength. Joe, what was yours? 34. So what we would do at this point there, we wouldn't have a major arcana for 34. So we would add 3 plus 4. You would get a 7. And a 7, I should have these I mean, I do, but whatever. It's Chariot. Chariot is travel. It's fast. It's going out and getting what you want and need in life. It's like moving. Go. And then Leah, you were a 9, right? So 9, gosh, I'm like, okay. 9, rightfully so, because of what we all just said. 9 is the hermit. That's the wisdom, the introspection, solitude at times in your thoughts, enlightenment. So that's a fascinating twist to our little show, wouldn't you say?
I think so. I think this is. I like how. I feel like the subject matter of the witch hunt stuff is sadly, so there's even more future time as well, because it's just so indicative.
Probably be a series.
Yeah, I would agree because I like the exploration of what drove some of these numbskulls to be so stupid. And of course, that's just a recurring theme. We're seeing it in today's day and age. We're seeing, those that are ignorant of history are doomed to repeat it. Well,
Exactly. Back then, they didn't know any better.
Right.
They were doing it for the first time, as you said.
Right.
Doomed to repeat the
Yeah.
sins of others. Anyway.
But now people know and they don't care.
Well, and also they don't know how to learn.
True.
for themselves.
Some people
Yeah.
can't even speak higher than a 6th grade level. So
Some people literally believe Fox News is the
They're
station.
balanced.
You know, exactly.
they're unbalanced.
Further thing from the truth.
Well, this was a fun show. Now, Josina, I want to give you kudos. You did a great job with the fog machine tonight.
Oh, you did.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have to have on nerd night. We've got to have the fog machine.
Yeah.
Leah, we
Yeah.
loved the witch hunter category that you chose.
Plus the information, you know, behind it all.
Yes.
That's really good.
Per usual, Randella, your intellect and your insight into all subject matters is fantastic.
Yeah, it wasn't all wasted being a
Well
being a
done.
phone.
Oh, and plus the cupcakes. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and happy birthday, dear mom, and to everybody.
Happy birthday to your mom.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to anybody. Hey, we're celebrating anyways.
So, just a quick note. In the future nerd shows, we are going to very slowly start introducing Slayer and Josina has even experienced our personal experience at a place that is so haunted, so scary, so much to it. I was actually shooting a documentary out there for almost 4.5 years. It got so bad, I had to stop, and we will get into all that. And we are going to slowly start introducing some parts of that. No, that's all I'm going to say tonight.
You're not going to mention what it is.
No.
You gotta mention it,
You're going to
Sharon.
mention it, Sharon.
All right, I'll mention one of the titles that when Slayer and I,
Just mention the location.
Yeah, exactly.
Colorado.
Oh, Sharon. Sharon.
I devil you. Anyway, do whatever you want, but I think people.
Colorado. No, we're gonna introduce it slowly as we go.
Okay.
Okay, so also, my show, it's pretty, I'm like in a million different places. So I do my really short show where I don't talk and I just put it all on here. That's my political. Bethany from Pollen and Stardust, astrology. She comes on. She tries once a week. Doesn't always happen. She travels. We have a show usually together on some sort of something. And then I usually do my mystery by myself, which could be historical or murder mystery. I did one yesterday, the Henryville murders of the 3 boys in 1977. So we have different components to the show. I really hope you guys will give us at least a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe. That'd be great. We're gonna be expanding onto Patreon soon and some other places. And I just want to give you some hearts. And there you go. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Take care, freaks.
Go Freaks. Bye now.